Hello and good morning. I couldn't keep quiet another second. All this talk about Sturridge on Redman TV and other networks. Listen, I don't know if it's reminding people of Sterling and with Brendan Rodgers and Brendan Rodgers putting him at positions he didn't like and him becoming selfish or whatever he came off to fans. But Sturridge is our best striker at the club. I know he has an injury history and things of that nature. On any day, he's the best striker. Don't get me Firmino, Danny Ings, and nobody else. He's been our best striker for a few seasons now. To react in a way of saying, almost saying, how dare he come out and say this? Listen, when Klopp came out and said what he said about Sturridge, basically calling him soft and saying he needs to toughen up, decide which injury is serious and not, he could have kept that in house, but he didn't. He could have kept that between him and Sturridge. One-on-one, look, man, I think you need to, make sure these injuries are really that or whatever he had to say. But he came out and said it in the press. They asked Sturridge a question. He came out and said what he wanted to say. It's no different from what Milner said about the position he's playing. And on the Redman TV, they talked about Mikel Antonio. That's not true what you said. He definitely didn't like playing the position he played in. And just recently he was changed. His position was changed, and he scored, and they won. I don't know if that means much, but him and Slaven Bilic almost had somewhat of a bust up as well in training, or behind the scenes somewhere. So it's not a foreign thing for a player to not like where he plays and says that. I mean, I'm sure he's had that conversation with Klopp. If not, I can see where the problem could be. I mean, I feel like you definitely should have that conversation with your manager. I think the situation with Sturridge and Klopp could well possibly already be a little shaky from last season carried on to this season. But him coming out and saying that, and also starting that by saying, I have to do a job for my team. I don't understand what the problem is. If Steven Gerrard would have said something like this, Carragher, any one of you others' favorite Liverpool legends have said something like this, you wouldn't have said anything about it. So you can miss me with that. I mean, that's crazy to knock on this man just because he spoke out and said he didn't want to play that position. Everybody and their damn grandmother knows that Sturridge is best as a forward in the box. I mean, for me, I don't even like seeing him tracking back the way he does sometimes to get the ball in the midfield. I don't like that, but that's me. He belongs in the box up front, leading the line. I mean, that's obvious. You don't put him at winger. I mean, and who knows? I hate to even bring up the Burnley game. Who knows if he would have started at the striker position, if it would have been a different outcome? I don't know that. I don't know if no one knows what would have happened. We lost that game. Let's scrap that. It's over. But moving forward, if Mane's out or not, you cannot put Sturridge at winger. It doesn't make sense. Put Lallana, put somebody else there, but you can't put. And I know we got slim pickings right now, but part of that is our fault. Selling guys, letting guys go to trim the squad up, but you don't have anybody to step in. It's the same thing with the back line. You know what I mean? We got Matip, Lovren, Sacco's getting ready to leave, and Lucas to slide back in there, and Clavin. I mean, come on, that's not enough. It's just I don't understand it. But yeah, I kept looking at all these messages about Sturridge, and it's amazing. I mean, it's laughable that anybody would even bring up Milner as if he's on the same level as Sturridge. He would never say anything. He would just shut up and play. Bump that. It's a new day and age, man, in sports, and I feel like speaking up about how you feel when asked a question, I think is okay. I mean, it could have been far worse. He could have made a personal, shot at Klopp, which some people might look at that as a personal shot. I don't. It's just simply saying he doesn't like playing there. But in the meantime, he has a role and a job to do for Liverpool Football Club, and he did that. It wasn't successful. Part of that is because that's just not where he should be playing. But he did the job. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, I appreciate the way Klopp handled it when asked in the press conference. I think he's usually pretty good and clean with those kind of things thrown at him, which is partly why, but amongst other reasons why I like tuning into his interviews and press conferences. But And this is madness, to knock this man for coming out to say how he felt. I don't get it. I don't understand. I, saying that is fair. You know what I mean? It's not something that we all don't know and see anyway. So for him to say that, I don't get I don't get what the problem is. And I know a lot of it is because it's got to stem from his injuries. I know a lot of people are fed up with him not being able to complete a season. Every time we turn around, he's getting hurt, whether it's in training or a game or whether it's walking to the grocery store, whatever it is he's doing, he's getting hurt seemingly with anything that he does. I feel like he might have got hurt when he went to Boston to do his rehab. But anyway, that's besides the point. The conversation is not about his being injured or not being injured. It's about him speaking about being placed at a different position on the field, the wrong position for him. And I think it's fair play, and I don't understand why all this negativity is coming towards him. So if it's about his injuries, I understand why you might feel that way. But again, a lot of that he can't help. If he's fragile, if he's getting hurt, you can't help getting hurt. You can't help being injured. I mean, it's questionable as Klopp, alluded to, if he can play with some of these injuries or not. That's questionable, cool. But him actually getting hurt, there's nothing he can really do about that. They put him through the special preseason trainings and diets or whatever the hell they're doing. So they're doing their part to help him with that. But no one can do anything about him getting hurt. So, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm a firm believer in that, and I get it, and I respect your opinion. But, when I feel like it's unfair, and I feel like it's no different from what Milner has said, and thousands of other players, I don't understand what the big problem is. I really don't. So I just had to let that loose, man, and share my 2 cents about it. I'm equally as upset with Sturridge and his injury history. Not with him necessarily, so I shouldn't say with Sturridge, but I'm disappointed that he hasn't been able to max out his talent as much as I think he could have at Liverpool or anywhere for that reason. He's been hurt at different places that he's been, City, Chelsea. I think anyway. That could be wrong, but I feel like he's had an injury history in general. And it's unfair, it's unfortunate for him as a player. Because I think he could be one of the best, not only strikers in England, but in the world. I really do believe that. But I don't know if we'll ever be able to see that. And so, I'm sure he's just as frustrated as the fans and Klopp about the injuries. But again, there's nothing he can do, man. So, I mean, we get a good, confident Sturridge who's out there running, and we can be special. I know that's a big if, but don't knock this man for speaking out about being put in a terrible situation against Burnley. Don't knock him for that. I mean, give the man that at least. That's all I'm saying. So I'll be back, talk pre-Tottenham, maybe pre-Tottenham, we'll see. I might just be back on the day of the game, maybe halftime type of thing, and after the game. But I'm sure there'll be some other stuff coming out that I might have to, run back on here and get on and talk about. But until then.